And it's on.
Okay. Should we say our names and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm Maggie.
I'm Rylee Perrin.
And we read The Bite of the Mango. Okay. So, what did you think?
So are we supposed to just talk about like in order from what we wrote in our draft?
I never know how to start these things.
Yeah, I would start with summary, just to like refresh your brains,
All right,
and then you can kind of jump around.
So my summary was like her relatives made her go to the next village for food, and she didn't want to go because she told them that bad things would happen, but they made her go anyways. And then the rebels were attacking, and they were going to free her, but they were going to cut off her hands first. And then she was trying to find a village for help because she was very sick and her arms are very infected since they got cut off. And then she met a guy on a path that had been walking, and they like basically chased each other, but she got him and he directed her to the free land, like leading to the free land. And
But
she
didn't
got
go with her.
Yeah, he wouldn't go with her because he his sister, or no, his wife was
His wife.
sick.
She got shot in the leg
Yeah,
and she was pregnant.
and then she got to a village and these people helped her and directed her to a bus. But after they talked to her and helped her, they directed her to this bus that she got on, and it took her to the hospital. And then when she got on to the hospital, she was very sick and her arms were very infected. They gave her medicine to help her arms heal, and she found all her friends, Muhammad and Ibrahim.
I think it's Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the nurse told her she was.
Maybe
They gave her medicines to help her arms
We'll
heal.
definitely
And
need them
then
up there.
the nurse told her she was pregnant, but she didn't know what that meant. So they basically explained it to her, and then she finally realized and opened up about
super late tonight?
this guy raping her, who was supposedly the guy she was supposed to marry. And then she tried killing herself by taking a bunch of pills, but Abu Batu hit the pill bottle out of her hand, and then that basically saved her. And then she started begging for money on the side of the street, but she didn't feel good about it. She felt bad about it because she was basically using her injuries as
Yeah.
and then she was her friends were
which is fine with me.
got the idea in her head that she could be adopted by a rich family, so she was hoping that.
Right.
Mine were really long stories, so let's try and say. My first thing, conflict wasn't a big one, but I thought it would be Santigi died, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Santigi, and that was her half brother, and they grew very close because Martu and him had to live together and share everything, same bed, same plate of food, and they even helped each other wash each other's backs in the river. And he died because he was really sick and his eyes bloated up when he passed. But the weird thing I thought was she kept feeling like she saw him the day after he died. She kept seeing him. And this book is super superstitious and creepy, I think. But this conflict is kind of a symbol at the same time. And it's the palm oil, and that's just the vegetable oil made with palm.
And
Made with palm trees.
if you dream of it or something, you know something's gonna happen, something bad.
Her grandma always told her, whenever you dream palm oil, blood will spill the next day.
And that's why she didn't want to go to the village.
Because she had a dream about it before.
Yeah, and then she had to go and something bad happened, and she knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, because whenever she would dream about it, that would actually happen. The next day she would scrape her knee and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's so.
I
I
think
think know
that's
what
so
palm
weird.
oil is.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. And then, like you were saying, Ali sent away Martu, Muhammad, Adamzi, Ibrahim, Magboro, and Margaret back to the village to get food, but the rebels were about to attack, and Martu was lying to Allie and saying that she was sick and all this stuff and that she couldn't go, but then he saw her working before she was saying that, so he was like, you're not sick, you have to go, you will be fine, and all this stuff. He kept telling her, like, you will be fine, and she knew, like, something was up, but she had a gut feeling, but she couldn't really talk back to him, because you can't really do that. And then the rebels did attack them when they were in the village, and what I thought was weird was some guy handed her palm oil, you know?
Yeah.
And she, like, drank it or whatever, and then as, like, they were attacking or whatever, the guy that handed her palm oil, he got shot in front of her.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty sad.
I thought that was really weird.
Yeah. And, but then they came out to Martu, and then they asked, like, do you know who we are and stuff, and she was like, are you the city soldiers, because she didn't know what else to say, and she didn't want to give them, like...
Yeah, she didn't want to ask, like, the rebels.
Yeah.
Because she was scared.
But she should not have said that either, because then they held, like, I think, Muhammad and Ephraim, they tied Ephraim and Muhammad together and made them stare at, like, the blinding sun. And, like, in Africa, it's really hot down there, so the sun must be, like, actually blind. And they made them stare at it and, like, asked them, like, are you the soldiers? And they just kept saying, no, no. And then eventually Ephraim wet his pants, and the rebels began waving a bare knife around, like, their heads and backs.
I thought, like, okay, so the part where she, like, said they're soldiers, like, that was, like, the bad thing to do, because they, like... They didn't even know they were soldiers. I thought, like, a big conflict, like, to add to that was, like, they said, we are not going to kill you, we want you to go to the president and show them what we did to you.
Yeah.
So, like, they want people to know who, they are. Yeah, and for, like, her not to,
be afraid. They want people to be afraid.
Yeah, but for her not to know who they are, like, for them to think that, like, they felt, like, angry because they want people to know.
Yeah. And then they made Martu watch them kill people that she knew. Like, they would ask her, do you know them? And then she'd be like, yes, I do. And then they'd kill them. But Martu's aunt told her a long time ago, if the rebels ever ask you, do you like what you see? She would have to say yes, because if she said no, then they would kill her next. And they would ask her, like, do you like what you see? And she'd have to be like, yeah, like, that would suck, having to say you liked what you saw after you just watched someone die. That's horrible. And, but, so, yeah, she said yes. And that basically saved her life at that point. But then the conflict was the rebels wanted Martu to go with them. And I think this is, I wrote this down, so I think it's right. But it was because she was pretty and could do them favors, which is disgusting. I don't even want to know what they were thinking. And she realized she had to say yes, because if she said no, they'd be like, okay, well, we're killing you. So she said yes, but then she went to the bathroom, and they thought about it some more, and they didn't want her anymore. So that's good and bad, I think. But what they decided to do was chop off her hands instead. So they took her, and then they just went. It took 2 for this one and like 3 for this hand.
Yeah, like that
would be the most pain. Like
having,
I was just
like,
thinking
your
the whole
bone,
time. Like imagine just watching your hand fall off and then it flopped on the floor like a fish. They said.
And especially, she said that she couldn't like not look away, and she was looking down, and she just saw the bone like all cracked. And
that's
sticking out.
I would faint. Like I don't know how. She
said she was like about to faint. She said she didn't feel anything because she was just so.
That would be so painful. And it would be even. That would hurt so bad. And what I said was she got really sick, like really sick. Like it was like she was on like some like high meds or something, because she was like so loopy and she was just out of it. Yeah. And she hadn't eaten or anything, and then eventually when she found the guy, he like fed her the mango.
Yeah. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. And and so she finally ate to finally refuel herself. but then he told her to go to Port Loco, and she made it to Port Loco, but when she got there, everyone was accusing her of being a rebel and how she's like just warming them up, and everyone would like try and help her and stuff, but then the rebels would come to attack.
I think that's so terrible that girls would actually do that though.
Yeah.
Like I'd warn them. Like if like I was made to do that, I'd be
I'd be like the rebels.
Yeah,
like I'd
get
like
out of
mouth
here.
it to him or something. But they didn't believe her. But then they finally did believe her. But then they thought this guy was a rebel, but he might have been actually. I don't really know. I didn't really understand that, but he might have been a rebel or he might not have been. But they asked her if she knew him, and she was like, "Yes, I do." And then they were like, "We're killing him in your honor," and she was like, "No, no more."
Who was he? Yeah, he was.
She didn't know him that well.
He was a guy who like lived in her village. He wasn't a rebel.
Yeah.
But
he was dressed like one.
Yeah, he was like something.
Or
he had a bag full of red bandanas, and so they figured like, oh, he's a rebel, so we must kill him in her honor, like to make her feel better. But she knew him like personally.
That's so sad. And then she went. You already said this in your summary, but then she got to the hospital finally. But then they told her she couldn't get the care that she needed there, so she had to go to another hospital. But then she reunited with Ibram and Muhammad
in the Freeland.
Yeah, on the bus, and but their hands were chopped too.
Yeah, I think that's weird. Like, why?
I think that's so sad. Like, imagine like finally reuniting with your brother and sister, and then all having like chopped hands.
Yeah.
Like, because you would know the pain, and you would have to know they went through the same thing.
But it'd be good to have someone like knows how you feel though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want my family. You know.
Yeah.
And after Marcia got done with the surgery, the doctors figured out she was pregnant, and that was the biggest plot twist I think in the book so far. And she was like a few months in, or whatever, and the thing is, she didn't even know she was pregnant, or how she didn't even know about how she could get pregnant. Like, she thought only women could.
Yeah,
she didn't think girls could. And
she's 12. The belly button.
She's only 12. That poor girl, and but she thought it was impossible. She thought it was like some mistake. But in this part's really sad how Saji or whatever like raped her, and she didn't even know it because she had never had the sex talk before and didn't know like
she didn't know. She just knew it hurt really bad. And she like thought he was like trying to abuse her. She didn't know that. And
I just think that's like he told her like he knew her feelings like about him and stuff, and she knew she would never want to do that, and now it sucks because now she's pregnant and there's nothing they can do about it now.
I know.
But
this like I have some like questions or whatever, the 3 questions. One of them was, why do you think Maria 2 didn't tell anyone about Salio raping her?
I think she didn't even know it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like I think that like she knew like it was happening. She didn't know it was happening, and so she didn't, and she was embarrassed.
Yeah, she like tried telling Marie, her aunt, about it, and he like hit her. She like hit her.
Yeah.
Because so she was like, don't you talk bad on your fiance.
And I didn't think she would like think that she would ever get pregnant.
Yeah.
Or like be pregnant, because she didn't even know about it. Like you said. But what about Martu? Do you think makes her such a strong person that makes her keep pushing and keep living? Because honestly, she could like have passed. She could have like died in the forest or something if she really wanted to, but she doesn't want to die.
I feel like the reason why she's staying strong for so long is because she knows that she still has family out there, and that she knows that they're like she wants to go to them and like show them what happened and like tell them that she just wants them again. I feel like she just wants to be like little basically and not grow up so fast. And
So to large group, when you guys are done, will you shut off the camera?
See you there in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the door's locked, so just close it behind you and you shut the lights off.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think the reason why she was being strong was just, yeah, she was just, like, because she had family and all that, but, like, after people would remind her and she'd actually start thinking about it, that's when she, like, she overthought it and that's when she actually wanted to die, but. Okay, my second question is, do you think she will get adopted by a rich family?
I think she could. I think she has a good chance of it because I feel like they're gonna be like she doesn't have hands, and like
Yeah.
they're gonna kind of see that as like cry for help, kind of, and like they're gonna feel really bad for her and just be like, well, got you,
Yeah, like, we have you, we'll help you and all that.
because there are rich families out there that like that want to help
Yeah,
kids
they
in
said
need,
that.
and so she has a good chance.
Yeah,
then,
they
I
were
think.
saying how they want, like there's some families, or there's at least rumors of families that take in kids who have been hurt by the rebels.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go down to. I'll just ask you another question. What did you think? This was my first question, so it's kind of. But what did you think of like the palm oil? Like,
Yeah, I
we
thought
kind of
it.
talked about it. but
Yeah, I thought it was really like,
I thought it was creepy.
yeah, creepy. Like whenever you dream of palm oil, like know something
And
bad is gonna happen.
what would you dream about in palm oil? Like, would you be drinking it or like?
Well, she said that she had a dream of like the people like putting her in like a pot with just a bunch of palm oil or something like that, or like that hole or something of like her basically like bathing in palm oil, and she knew something bad was gonna happen, and like how her grandma used to tell her those stories, and how that guy like died right after giving her palm oil like, to drink to try to save her.
I just think it's so creepy.
Yeah. Well. And then yeah. I think that covered it all.
Well. Bye.
Okay. Remember last year Mr. Easton had us do like a 30 or 15-minute one or something?
Ours is 16 minutes.
Really?
How do you? I don't want to freaking delete this.
Click the record button again.
It's the record button. Sorry. No, you're good.